Belt to comb your hair. Hey, everybody. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Let's get some hellos in, huh? All right. I got to scroll all the way back up here. Gizmo was first one in the house. Good evening to you, big kid. Welcome back, my friend. Banquet of Consequences in the house, as always, as is the greatest name on the internet. Yeah. We've got that down.
Yes.
You know that?
Yes.
We got that down. Yeah.
It's only taken us a year, but we've got it. It's good.
Yep. Vicky Poland is in the house. Good evening to you, my friend, as is Mossy Oak Parrot. You know, I think I've read that Mossy Oak Patriot several times. It's Parrot. I think I've said that many times. I don't know. Hey, my friends at ACM Homestead are in the house. Pack Rat, good to see you once again. The Terminator. Let's keep it scrolling here. Tamara Smith from Texas is in. Carrie Davis, hello. Leela, hello to you as well. LJC says happy Friday. Happy Friday. Freedom, friends, and family. The beautiful Louise Wesley is in the house.
Hello, folks.
Long time no see, Louise. Lisa's in the house. Let me see. And MJ from Wisconsin. One more rock. Hello to you. One step closer. How are you, my friend? Hilltop Home Place. I haven't enjoyed several of your videos lately. If you guys haven't been over there, go check out Hilltop Home Place's YouTube channel. I've been lucky to watch a couple of them lately. Hakestraw 54, good evening to you. Potpourri for Life, good evening. Midwest Ribeye, welcome back. Eagle Lover, Texas, hello. Stan Gunther from Oklahoma, welcome back. I got through that quick. Look at that.
That was fast.
Bam!
You're just good at it.
Yep. Glenn, welcome in as well. Just popped in as soon as I said I was done, right? Obviously. Well, what do you want to talk about? What you got first on your list, Pumpkin?
Well, we are down to empty nesters again.
We are empty nesters again. I know, right?
We are without girl and dog.
Yep. So our visitor that was here for a couple weeks has moved on to greener pastures.
Yes. Much greener.
Much greener, actually.
Yes. She was here for 16 days.
Yeah. Yep. It was awesome.
Yes. And then it was kind of funny because then I went up. I actually came up to level 3 to make sure that the windows were closed, because sometimes you come up here and you see a crane and you forget to close the window. So I have to come up. I'm like, is there a breeze? Is there a breeze? So I came up to pod 3 to make sure that the windows were closed, and they were closed. But then as I was going around the corner, I had seen just straight into that room totes, and those totes were not normally there. So I went in and it said shirts and pants, and I was like, oh no, girl with dog forgot her clothes. And so I
gotta say, you said that I find a crayon and forget to close the window,
windows.
But at least I can remember to comb my hair.
This is the natural. This is the trending style nowadays.
Okay.
So I have to get close to Kansas City, and I kind of finagled some things around. And well, I didn't finagle anything around. I got somebody else to deliver the clothes for me, and while they're there, pick up some produce from Tabletop Farm and bring them to me. So I was like, hey, while you're there, can you swing by the farmer's market and grab some food and bring it back? So
not only do you not comb your hair, you have everyone picking up your groceries.
I have other people running errands for me, and I don't have time to comb my hair. This is the new style.
Oh, got it. Hey, Tom Shivel, welcome. Good evening to you. Hey, our friend Silver Lighting is in the house. Long time no talk. Song of Joy, good evening. Dana Green, good evening. My buddy Indiana Mike's in the house.
Ahoy.
Ahoy to you. Kelly Ireland. Jane Batten, good evening to you. Chris White, Mandy Garrett. How is Miss Mandy Garrett doing? Dorothy Holloway, good evening to you. Jules, welcome. JB, Grateful Hearts. I'm caught back up. Continue.
Do you ever, when you see Indiana Mike's Ahoy on there, do you ever want to yell it?
Ahoy! No, but maybe from now on. We'll get it down like half bubble off plum.
Yeah. So sounds like a plan. So anyway, that was.
So what are you getting at the farmer's market?
Oh, I've got microgreens, like 3 different kinds of microgreens, radishes, or radish microgreen, a pea microgreen, and a mixed microgreen. And then I got garden lettuce, spinach, a big bag, carrots, turnips, oregano, lavender. I think I got everything that they had available. I think I got at least, and then 2 carrots and 2 turnips. So one of like everything else. And then they had like meat. And I thought, I wonder how long it would take my carrier to bring me my food if I could get meat, if it would be frozen long enough to. And then I thought, no, I'm not going to make it complicated. So I did find out though, when I was on Tabletop Farm, so I placed an order on their website. And when I was on there, it said that they deliver to our area. And I was thinking, I could do this on a regular basis. That's a good idea. And they have like a frequency savings program.
Just what you need.
Hey, gotta save a buck.
Yeah. Wait, for any of you guys that don't go over there, check out tabletopfarmsmo.com, which is Missouri.com. They're good friends of ours. They're really great people, and they're growing machines. And so we like to support them. And I think the more we support them, the better. But
they've got good.
I didn't know you were going to buy everything on the list.
I didn't either.
Yeah, right.
I thought that it would be a good idea just to eat healthy for this week.
Oh, okay. That's what you thought?
It'll take us a week to get through all that, I think.
Yeah. Hey, Karen, welcome. Hey, Life from Mike and Jenner in the house. Good evening to you. Hexraw 54 says, how far am I from Kansas City? An hour, depending on where in Kansas City, but I can be to the airport in about an hour and 15, 20 minutes.
Life with Mike and Jen, you didn't see what she said.
Right there. How's
she
that?
Said, did you get any squash? And they didn't have any squash available.
Yeah. Ridiculous. One Step Closer says it's a good time for beets. Well, planting season is definitely here.
Yeah.
All of Bee's gardens, all of her swells are cleaned. They're prepped. They're ready to go. All she's got to do is get up there and plant them.
Well, we had 60-degree weather last week, and now we have snow on the ground. So we will not be. I won't be planting a whole bunch quite yet. I'll bet your servants would have a cooler.
Well, since you know who B got put up to go do it, right?
They might have a cooler.
Yeah. Jules says she can't even get pizza delivered to her area. Yep. Hey, RN's in the house. RN, how are you? Says hello from Central Alabama to Tag and B and the whole Life Done Free gang.
Hello.
Yep. Hey, Life Michael Jan, we love you guys too. Karen says that we had 10 degrees this morning, got up to 13 by noon. Yeah, we had a weird day too. It's been
what was the temperature?
60s.
Today?
I mean, for 10 days, like really good working weather, and then boom, today we have a snowstorm.
It was like when Girl with Dog was here, and then as soon as she left, she took our sunshine with her.
She did take our sunshine with her. I didn't think about that, but yes, she did. Yeah, Big Kid said their frost dates moved to April 30th. I think that's what about ours is this year too, although I haven't looked in a while. Tamara says she got 15 pounds of taters in this week. What'd you get done this week, B? Were you productive?
I got the taxes done.
Done?
Yeah.
Done.
Everything is on paper. Everything is
totaled up, ready to go.
Well, I have to deliver it. They open on Monday.
Everything else is done.
I have to put the numbers into the computer, but you were going to do that. I've got it on my part done.
How long have you been working on the taxes?
For at least a month.
At least.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But I've got all the numbers, so you can just plug them in, and then I'll deliver all the paper, the file with all the papers in it on Monday.
Yeah, Monday's a holiday, by the way.
Oh, they're not going to be open on Monday, I bet. I will deliver it on Tuesday. You know what? I bet the tire place isn't going to be open on Monday either.
One Step Closer says, don't fall for the false spring trap. We have about 30 tomato and pepper plant starts in the guest room, but we won't put them out until late March. Yeah, we won't be putting anything out till May.
Not that
kind of stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
there's other
See?
things that go on in March.
Life with Mike and Jen agree Monday's a holiday.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. But yeah, they're going to be closed, I bet.
Karen says, I'm still getting tax forms in the mail. Won't start my taxes until the end of February. Yeah, we're trying to get it done. There's just, the just the way the life works here, we are going to be full bore here shortly. Back into the gardens and back into the things that we do. Our resting time in the winter.
The winter.
Yeah, you all rested up?
No, I sit at the desk and I do numbers and receipts all day, and I feel like I've got nothing done. Like just sitting there with a stack of papers in front of me, I feel is just not very productive. And then it like sucks the moisture right out of your hands, like paper.
Yep, Karen's not gonna put tomatoes up till mid-June. Yeah, not here. I thought we had it bad at May. Hey, Teresa, welcome. Good evening to you. And hello back at you. Half Bubble Off Plum dropped his taxes off.
Yeah.
Yeah, Monday is President's Day. Yeah, it's Head Crook President's Day.
Mm.
Yeah, I'll be glad to be through taxes. Man, talk about theft, right? Talk about it's just crazy, B and I sit down and look at what we pay all year long, and you work so hard and they take so much of it,
And then we're just like begging for some of it to have back.
Begging for just the crumbs that run off the table. Please, sire. Gizmo wants to know, hey, B, did you mud this week?
No, I am with the taxes done. That is actually, I think I'm going to calc first.
Say that again?
Calc. Because I think I'm going to start on the second level and work my way down. And that way.
Yeah, that whole pod 4 is waiting on B.
Yeah, it is. And I'm ready to do it.
Yeah, no squash pies. In fact, I would hope that we don't grow any squash this year.
Oh, but we are. Because that's something that I can store pretty easily throughout the winter. And if you were starving, you would beg for some squash of any kind mixed with your sawdust.
Yeah, Instigator's got a question for you because he is the true instigator. Thanks, by the way.
Update on the lady tractor. Well, I got my EIN number out today.
Well, apparently the news is she got her EIN number out today. Oh. Oh my goodness, B. We want to talk about anything about the tractor or where we're at in the process?
I don't know where we're at in the process. I gave it to you and was like, I was like this.
Yeah. Didn't you say a prayer along with it? What was the prayer?
I didn't say prayer.
Okay, I was just winging it.
Well, then maybe you should wing up a prayer.
Yeah. She's working on me pretty hard, Instigator. Janine, welcome. Good evening. Carrie Davis says, taxes? What taxes? You mean we have to write a check? Yeah, I got to write one.
Yeah.
And man, they're on me all the time. I got to do quarterlies and then I got to pay at the end. And it's just so ridiculous. Let me see here. Vicky Pullen says, Dan got 3 4-foot by 16-foot beds planted with French fingerlings, russet, Yukon Golds this week. Red Norlands going in next week. He also got zucchini planted and tomato, pepper, and cucumber seedlings going. Look at that, all productive.
Where's Vicky at?
Texas. Yep. Gizmo wants to know, B, do you grow buttercup squash?
Buttercup?
Mm-hmm.
No. I don't know. Have not heard of buttercup.
You're my buttercup. Hilltop says, I learned to drizzle vegetables in olive oil and roast them at 425. I'm eating vegetables I never thought I'd like.
So maybe I can roast them and you would like them.
Doubt it. Vicky says, he has been very productive. Isn't it great to feel productive?
Yes.
I mean, to feel like you just absolutely got something done.
I do not feel like that when I'm sitting at the desk with papers in front of me. I feel like I don't get anything done doing that.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's got to be done because at the end of the day, we have to, pay our dues to our master. And if you don't pay your dues to the master, then they'll put the hammer down, Yeah. Can't wait for someday for that to back off a little bit. Because I don't know about you guys, but it seems to me I pay more and more and more and more all the time.
Does feel like that.
Yeah, and it's not that like, it's not like income's, going out of the roof or anything.
Oh, I gotta go do the trailer tags. I forgot. I'm just supposed to do that this morning. Won't be doing it on Monday. Our trailer tags are due at a different time of year than the rest of our tags because they're, I don't know, they're trailers.
Let me see. Jules said, I must have missed something. Did Jules have a comment up here that I just skipped or something? Let me look here.
No, you would never do that.
Well, it's hard. Oh, no.
I can't get paid.
She says, I've tried emailing people and looking at your channel, but haven't been able to find anything. That's why I waited for tonight.
At Johnny?
Oh, maybe
I've
that's
been trying to get a hold of you.
Okay. Got it. That makes perfect
Johnny.
sense. That makes sense. Okay, I was in the middle of it. TB says quality conversation insights on yesterday's video about education. Yeah, David Rodriguez is a very interesting guy, and although I don't agree with 100% of his perspective, I agree with most of it. And for those of you guys who haven't watched it, David Rodriguez is a principal of kind of, I guess, an alternative learning way, and he talked a lot about the education system and about what we can do as parents, as teachers, as educators, right, to begin to make a difference in these kids' lives and stop creating that Prussian super soldier that the system that we now have is designed to create. It was a good conversation. We're going to get David back on. I promise you. He's a live wire, and he believes everything he says, and he has lots of conviction, and I love all of that.
I like how he had a lot to say, and a lot of it did make great insight to things that I'd not thought of. But I did think it was interesting how you said you were not all that big of a fan on individuals homeschooling because it's just them saving their child and not bringing in the neighbor kid to save also.
Well, my point, it really has nothing to do with homeschooling. It's just one of my biggest arguments to homeschooling is that we save our kids.
Yeah.
And that our kids aren't going to be enough to fix this world. We need to, we got to do more than that.
Right.
And how do you reach out for more?
And that's what I'd never looked at it like that before. I'd never looked at it that you're right. It's affecting just that kid that's in the school or in that home, or kids that are in that home, not the neighbor kids or the neighborhood kids. So more of a co-op or would be, in your eyes, would be better, so that you have a different way of teaching them, but you have a neighborhood of kids that are being affected. Not just a co-op that serves our community, a co-op that serves the area, that serves. That's why I said neighborhood.
That really
whoever
serves,
can get there.
Right, whoever wants their kids to learn a different way. I would love to be able to pull that off. The problem is there's only so many hours in the day, and I can only do so much.
What are those privately funded? Is that
they're all privately funded? Yeah. So that makes that hard too. The system's rigged not to let you do that, because even if you do that, you're still going to pay taxes for the school districts.
And then the parents
and then you're paying for the private school
are involved are paying for
on
that.
top of it. Yeah. So Big Kid says where they're at, you can get a permanent trailer tag. You might want to look at it. So when you're at the courthouse, you can ask them if you can get a permanent tag here. I don't know.
I doubt it, because they want us to pay every year, and of course it goes up every year. But I'll ask them, because that would be sad.
Yeah, we'd like to build our own school barn. Gizmo says, were all the blue barrels full of honey in your intro picture? No, I wish. Those are all just 55-gallon barrels. I bought them because they have the screw top lid. And so, like bee stores, a lot of like grains and, feed for the animals and just anything you want to keep the rodents out of inside of a barn, you can just lock up in one of those barrels. So I'll buy more if I ever get the chance, Hey, Gregory, good evening to you. Yep. Co-op school. Yep. Song of Joy says most homeschoolers are in a co-op or have families that have classes together. And I'm 100% for this, but again, I'm most interested in how do we do it in a broader sense? Because again, I think and I don't mean this mean for anybody who does it, but saving my kids are one thing, but what about the rest? And, it's just a concern of mine. But let's see here. RN says, I just found out 2 of my daily driver vehicles can qualify as antiques and can get permanent tags. Oh, I would love that. Yeah. Midwest Ribeye says, I love the idea of a co-op school. Yeah, me too. Totally do. Totally agree. Kids do need a learning community with a variety of topics. Yeah, and I think the more as David was talking about, last night when him and I were talking, more about pushing them to be great at the thing that they enjoy the most. Pushing them not to be the Common Core kid.
Yeah, but our kid, when we asked him what his favorite subject was, and do you remember what he said?
Bus.
Bus.
Well, I want him to be the best bus rider ever. Ever.
Bus. He was what? He was probably third grade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Salty Dog, good evening to you. And Nostradamus, good evening as well. Yeah, this is a good topic. So life of Mike again, any new developments on the community building? So we still haven't settled in on the design, but I am moving the dirt.
Yeah, he's making mess.
Big mess.
Big mess.
Yeah. So I started pulling the dirt up. So where I'm going to put the Mike.
Started pulling the dirt up.
So where I'm going to put the building, it's got a pretty good slope down, and I'm going to cut the hill away so that the community building sits into the dirt a little bit, like kind of like a berm home in a lot of ways, so I can tuck it back up in that dirt. And so
earth contact.
Yeah, earth contact, maybe whatever you will call it. But I have been working out there to get that dirt moved out of the way, so I can get just to a big flat area, and then we'll continue on. But we're going to get working on it pretty quick here.
And he at one point in time said that so with that mound being taken out, instead of taking the mound, shaving the hill all the way off, just cutting a gouge in it, putting the building in, and having dirt on two sides, but then leaving the ends open. And I thought that didn't sound like a good idea.
Well, what would be cool is, again, it's earth. You're cooling it and heating it will be much, much easier.
I know, but with dirt on the north and the south, and the east and the west are open, and then it's not.
It's not what?
I think that would look really weird.
Because you'd have retaining walls sticking out?
Like double, wouldn't it?
Well,
wouldn't it be? How would you have dirt?
Baby,
you'd have to step down into it. It would be like stairs down into it.
It wouldn't be.
It'd be like a wallopini.
No, it wouldn't be. Because you got to remember you're on the hill.
I know, but if you have dirt on both sides, then the dirt is leaning up against the building.
And yes, you would have double retaining walls because you have two sides.
Yeah. I think that would look really silly.
One step closer, it'd be great for people in the community who have expertise to come teach the kids on subjects. I could not agree more. Absolutely could not. I don't have kids, but know lots of homeschoolers. From what I understand, the state's rules state you must be a parent, grandparent, or guardian. So homeschoolers can't help other homesteads. Well, I think
households.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, that might be true. But we could also push the law a little bit. I'm not talking about breaking the law. I'm talking about changing the law.
Well, and that might be where the co-op theory comes in, because it's multiple families being taught by. Yeah,
I think you could do it. I think it might be a challenge, but I think you do. Big Kid says the R&D is ongoing on the thermoelectric generator. It's a slow process. It's burning now. Beautiful. Yeah, keep us posted on that. Hey, Skanes girl, how are you? Thought about you a lot. I hope everything's going good for you. I'm just one person in a tiny house in the city, and I have 12 of those barrels and wouldn't mind having more. Yeah, those barrels are awesome. Yeah, Tamber says you need your tractor so you can help. Well, if the tractor would make her be more productive, that'd be a good thing, right? You think it'd make you be more productive?
I mean.
Yeah, Johnny says, I'm all done with kids, grown and gonish. Yeah. Yep. Well, my kids are grown too, but I still want to go do it, Let me see here. When forced to wear a mask in school, my daughter came home every day with severe headaches. I started homeschooling and she loves it. Oh, good for you. Good for you. I missed in what kind of barrels they are and what is the plan for them. So the barrels are 55-gallon blue barrels with screw top lids, food grade. And around here, you can get stuff like that a lot because oats come in them and stuff like that. There's, a million farms around us, so you can get them. And I think, if I remember right, I think I gave $10 a barrel for them, $7 a barrel, something like that.
Yeah.
And I bought like 50 of them or something, but
we didn't keep all of them. Some of them went to other homesteads.
Yeah, other homesteads end up with some of them. We end up, but what we mainly do with them is store feed in them, and then also her kindling. So all of the scrap 2x4s and scrap wood that have come out of building the house and the barns and all of that, I just cut into small enough pieces and then we chop them up into kindling and we fill them with kindling. So like right now, she's probably got 5 or 6 55-gallon drums full of kindling.
Already chopped and
already chopped, ready to go, years worth probably.
And then we just drag one up to the back door, and then I just pull from it and use it as I need it. Really easy.
Yeah.
But those barrels, I've stored clothes in them. I've stored shoes in them. We've stored water in them. We've stored other different wood. I guess it was still kindling. It just wasn't chopped at the time.
Mm-hmm.
We've stored, cat food in your shop to keep the rodents out. We stored.
So let me back up. So we had a neighbor across the way who moved, and didn't get the land bought up. I wish I would have, but kind of happened kind of in a snap, and before I knew what was happening, it was done. But anyway, so when he moved, he left his cats, and there was like 7 of them, and so they became our cats, and they were all feral. You couldn't touch them or anything like that. So my beautiful bride, in all of her infinite wisdom, thought the best thing that she could do is make them a little house, feed them and water them in my shop.
It started on the back deck, and then winter came. They kind of found their way to your shop because you left the door open.
Oh, you don't think it had anything to do with you putting food in there?
I did.
And making a bed in there and making them all comfy and warm.
I put food in there after I found them in there.
Uh-huh.
And there were kittens. So I was like, well, that was just God saying feed them where they're at. And I was just complying.
Yeah. Yeah. How'd you guys like it to come home to your shop or your area, and your wife's moved in a herd of cats with kittens and all kinds of stuff? Wife didn't do it.
They had kittens on your freestanding hoodie. Your freestanding hoodie that was in there. You'd stuck it in the bottom of that shop vac, and they went in there and had kittens.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you put them in there.
No, I didn't.
Yeah. Did you know that homeschooling laws vary by state, Catwoman?
Yes. I did know that.
Hey, American Roots is in the house. We were talking about you today, Jess.
Feral cats?
No, we were talking about Jess from American Roots today.
Oh, before the live.
Before the live, yeah. Masio Parrott says, I know some teachers that started teaching kids online during COVID and said they would never go back to normal teaching again. Yeah, and maybe that's the answer. Maybe it is some online teaching or some whatever, but we get the community building up. I think it's going to help that a lot, because at least we'll have some options. And I know the local politicians and school boards, I think, well enough. I can approach them and see if I can, find my way through it. We'll see. Half Bubble Off Plum says, we had parents that got together and hired a teacher who quit their job in a school, and the parents of the teacher parents paid the teacher to homeschool the kids. Worked out for everyone. Yeah, and I love this idea. We have educators in our community now who either are retired from it or still currently working in the system. And I'd love to be able to, put something together where, each parent, is coming up with X amount of money and they're doing X amount of teaching or, whatever it is. But anyway, Big Kid says, screw top 60-gallon pickle barrels for $25 here. Just got 10 of those. Yeah, love that. Love that. Terminator says, I've been enjoying watching my husband work with his new tractor. I don't have to shovel the driveway anymore. So happy now I can work on my new plans for a bigger garden. Winning. Tiny bit freer, huh, Terminator?
Yeah. They come in so handy.
Involve the town and get them involved. Also have town people do a community garden and get involved them in another area of interest with kids' interest. I think that's a great idea. Many states allow co-op homeschooling, says Louise. Each home just needs to designate a teacher and principal of the home, but others in the co-op sharing teaching subjects without state interference. Yeah, that's what I want right there. Yeah, Johnny, she was out there making him a bed. No matter what she says, that's what happened. And then I came home to a whole bunch of cats in my shop and cat shit everywhere. Because, of course, they just don't stay in the nice little bed that B made them, But they're so cute.
They were really cute.
So cute. So cute.
And then had I intervened earlier, I could have probably have tamed a couple of them.
Mm-hmm.
But no, we caught them and took them to the local cat lady, and she rehabilitated them and found them new homes.
So we don't have any cats today.
She wouldn't let us keep them.
There's a whole homeschooling variety of learning tools out there. Some are all on computer, and others use DVD and books. Yeah, B has used some of that stuff. Which one did you use in the past? What was it called? Sunshine?
Sunlight.
Sunlight. I knew it was something like it's been a while. The Johnny doesn't get along with cats. Yeah, I'm not really a cats person either.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I think I'm way behind.
It would be different if they. I think if they let us love them, it would be different.
Nostradamus says it well. It was either your shop or the Chinese restaurant.
Oh no.
Yep. And the Lord saith unto B, feed my kittens, provideth them a bed and kibble in the forecourt of the shop, for kitties are the delight unto the Lord.
I heard it like that too.
Yeah, my daughter's doing a logo for me and going to put it on my own aprons. I love that. Maybe some shirts. We have to terminate. We'll have to do some shirt exchanges. Yeah, let me see here. Guys, I think I'm way behind. Let me see here. Oh, no, I'm not too far. Okay, cool. Let me see here. I think on some level, kids need interaction with other kids, whether good or bad. Totally agree. And I think that social part is a huge part of education, and trying to provide it all. Right, that's the challenge. But I think we can do it. Life with Mike and Jen say our youngest daughter tutored when the coop was happening. So many parents were not capable of teaching math, language, arts, and history. It was quite eye-opening. Yeah, we heard that a lot when we were talking on the video last night with David Rodriguez. American Roots had actually posed that question that, the biggest question that she gets is, that parents don't feel like they're capable, of teaching them. And, but in fairness, you wouldn't want me teaching your kids English, but I'd be a great math teacher, right?
No, you ain't.
No, I ain't.
No.
Yeah, English would not be my thing, but math I could do, or construction, or building, history, or fractions.
Yeah. Let's get into history.
Yeah. Johnny says cats are just freeloaders spreading ringworm.
I think you'd be a good history teacher.
I'd be a good history teacher.
I think you'd make it fun.
Yeah, let's see here. Jules says, B, you can't retrain ferals. 17 years I tried. Skane's girl just got 3 cats.
Even if you get them really, really young, you can't train them.
I heard they taste like chicken.
Mm.
I was visiting my neighbor for 3 hours, and we were going to get together over tea and do more talking about gardening, preserving, and homesteading. How cool is that? All right, cool. I think we are caught up to all of the comments. What you got? What's next on your list?
Oh.
You want to talk about it? I know what we can talk about. Let's talk about food forest.
Okay.
So I haven't talked about this a lot in the past, but I've been in discussions with Food Forest Abundance for about 6 months now, talking about the idea of bringing a Food Forest Academy to Kansas. And, we've been going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth over it. And I think we're getting close to having a deal put together that would do that here. And so basically what they would do for us is, let me back up. So the big goal would be to build a campus. And that campus would have, a learning center and food forests and solar and water and all, be able to demonstrate all of the different pieces of living free and what that is. And so I don't need help with a lot of that, because a lot of that we already have. What would be helping me directly with would be the food forest and, exactly what to plant, where to plant. And so we would go through this process of them coming out, doing soil samples, all of those kind of things, figuring a design plan, engineering that design plan based upon the soil and everything located here.
Terrain.
Yeah, but then we got to thinking, instead of doing a food forest academy, what if we did a food forest community? And where these plans that we would have drawn up could affect every single community member in our area. And that would be attractive to them, because they would be able to talk about the first ever food forest community.
Yeah.
Right. And then we could share some of that wealth here. Everyone would get a little bit better. Plus, it would keep the costs down, right? Because having people engineer plans and all of these things are not cheap. And so I thought if you guys were interested, I would show you some of Food Forest Abundance and some of their plans that they've done in the past for permaculture and, the food forests. Yeah, Big Kid says, sounds like an HOA. Yeah, no HOA. There ain't no rules. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get engineered plans that talk about the right plants in the right order, all of those things. We're going to share it in the community. So there still would be no rules. Nobody's losing any sovereignty or, autonomy. They still get to decide who comes on their property, when, where, and how, just like I do. But yes, a community food forest. And so if you guys don't mind, I thought I would share some of these. So these are all previous plans that they had done kind of in the past. And I don't know
for different people's
for just
needs.
different people and different people's needs. And so they've been sending me plans for a while, and I just picked 4 of them out that I would share with you guys tonight. But really, these are the kind of things that, man, my computer's going all kinds of crazy. Anyway, so these are just basically kind of some of the plans that they go on. And, part of the stuff that we would get back would be, plans just like this. You like that, babe?
I was just looking to see what was what. Like, obviously the blue's like water, right?
Yeah, those series of ponds and bushes and all that. And there's actually legends that go with them that tell you what each individual plant is and those kind of things. But so here's another one that they did. And this one's got, again, this plan's a little closer, I think, to what, they kind of like to do, which it has learning centers and community buildings. And, like you can see all the series of little ponds and irrigation. And if you look, babe, on the right-hand side, see, it's this food forest design plant list. See, it lists all the plants. I know you guys can't see it probably because it's probably
tiny,
too small. But
vines and fences.
Yeah. So this was another one that they put in, and there's another one that they put in.
That's a big area.
Yeah, this one has. These are
it?
Airbnbs, if I remember right when I was looking at this plan here.
That was one thing when you went down to you went down to the Food Forest Academy, right?
Yeah, Gulf Landing. Yeah.
And it's kind of it's like a little island because there's like little fingers down there. It's like,
yeah, but it's not an island. It's not an island.
It looks like it when I was zooming in, trying to find you a place to stay, and they had Airbnbs there.
It's out on a peninsula.
Well,
yeah,
it was hard for me to find you a place to stay. So Airbnbs in the community would be helpful because having people come and then having them have a place to stay would be so helpful to many people.
Yeah.
So like if different, like if we had one here and they had one over there and they had one over there and they had one over there, then there could be people on all the different lands while they stayed.
Yeah. Hey, Country for Shore, welcome. And you're not late at all. You're 37 minutes right on time. Nostradamus is a garden set up like that would be awesome.
Then you could have one that has like
here's the last one.
Different.
I think this is the last one.
Different ways of heating them, different ways of powering them.
Yeah. So they break them down all into zones. Like this is a big one. Look how little that house looks compared.
You sure that's a house?
Yeah, I think that's a house right there, but this is a big area. Yeah, and this funny how you see how they turn from greens into browns. And I think that's the different layers of reforestation, right? As they're bringing everything back to it. But Jules says, "Come on, Tag, dang it! A chat full of old people, and you're showing uber tiny pics, writing. Come on, man! I know that's what they sent me. Yeah, it is being weird being the same as old people. Yeah. So I think
who's the old people?
Yeah,
are we the old people?
Yeah, you are.
Hey, you're like 4 years older than me.
Yeah, Carrie says
that means you're older.
B, we have an Airbnb on our property. It's fun, and I am older, but men grow old. Women grow old. Men grow old gracefully. Just saying.
Never watch it.
Yep, hands Jules a magnifying glass. Yep, no doubt. How many acres are you thinking would be involved? Yeah, so I think on my land, I think I'm going to donate 5 acres to the food forest. And we'll go through and build it just in those 5 acres. Because one thing I got to be really careful about on my land is I want to make sure I never lose enough prairie ground. Because we cut hay and those kind of things to feed the animals through the winter. And we've gotten to where it's kind of self-sufficient in a lot of ways. I don't want to lose any of that. But I'm super excited about, using solar to pump water out of the ponds to run through the food forest that eventually runs back into the pond, and the cycle of that. And so it's super exciting. We have a lot of experience here in our community. We have a lot of arms in the community. So with the right plan, I think it's something we could do pretty easy. Will be my guess. But yeah, Eagle Lover says y'all are just babies. Yeah.
If you do a community thing, then you could probably save on buying plants and stuff too. Because if you buy more than Like if you buy them from the conservation department, they come in packs of 25. So.
Yeah, well, but our land will provide a lot of the plants too.
Well, you can take and transplant.
Yeah, because we have a lot. We have all kinds of gooseberries and grapes and raspberries and all kinds of stuff that grows here on the land. Wild. But have you all noticed that the older you get, there are more and more young people and fewer old people? Yeah. Karen says she could be our mom. Yeah, just trying to get himself in trouble. I'm good at getting myself in trouble. Hey, Palmetto Paratroopers in the house. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while, man. Welcome back. Yep, there's another channel you guys go check out. Let me see here. Oops, I lost it. Gotta get that one. Hippocrates says Jeff Lawton down in Australia's Zia Tuna Farm can provide some potential ideas. We've watched, B and I have studied a lot of it, watched a lot of it, but I think actually working with a company, that's what they do. So if you guys don't know much about food forest abundance and Jim Gale, this is actually what they do for a living, is install food forests. And they do it for mostly, rich people on a half an acre or 2 acres, somewhere. But to build a food forest academy in the middle of the country, I think is attractive. And I think they think it's attractive. And so we're getting closer and closer to finding, that common ground. Let me see here.
Do they know that you said anything about a community like?
Oh yeah, we've talked about it a bunch. I have a meeting with their leadership team, Jim and their leadership team, Monday morning at 11 o'clock. So we'll figure
Monday's
out.
a holiday.
Yep.
You're having a meeting on Monday?
Oh yeah.
So your people work on Monday and mine don't?
My people work on Monday and your don't. I don't understand the question. So the bank is your people and
the tax accountant
are your people.
The tire store.
That's your people.
Those are the people that I have to get in contact with. Nobody's going to be in on Monday.
Jen started 70 moringa seeds today.
Oh.
Yeah. Control
Did you soak
plus
them?
Helps my eyesight.
Did you soak them first, Jen? Is that what you started them?
Palmetto says they're only 39. They're not the same age as old people. Well, I would say you're probably in a room full of a whole bunch of elders. I'm Googling food forest for the first time. A little overwhelming. Oh, yeah, there's a lot to know. Yeah. You're old when you have grandkids in their 30s. Yeah. See, it's not as complicated as it sounds. There's a lot to learn. There's just absolutely a lot to learn with all of it. I'm excited about it. I'm excited that B is something B has always wanted, right?
Yes. And you did not.
No.
Because you thought that it looked messy.
It's not just that it looks messy. It's that it's another thing to deal with.
You want a golf course yard.
No, I want a garden that is weed-free. I want, a food forest that takes no mowing, no caring, nothing. It just does everything on its own.
But it's short and beautiful and looks kept like a garden.
Yes. That's what I want.
The word forest is that's big, bushy.
Conservative friend says, hey, Tag and B, several days ago, I sent an email due to the political nature of my past newsletter. Frequently, my emails end up in spam. Imagine that. Yeah, I replied to your email, bud. I got your email and replied to it. It was, 3 or 4 days ago, maybe. Something like that. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Okay, here we go. Is food forest similar to permaculture, but on a bigger scale? How would you answer that? I don't necessarily think it's on a bigger scale, more on a more compact scale, maybe.
No, I don't know. Hippocrates will know that.
I don't know how I would answer that. So a food forest is basically, it looks like a forest and there's just food everywhere. And it's a series of planting, so you got, trees and then bushes and then, smaller stuff than ground cover, and it all works together and one feeds off the other, the whole permaculture thing, but it's in a forest.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but when you see Billy's permaculture, it kind of looks like a forest.
Yeah.
So I don't know the difference. I don't know.
Hippocrates says he wants a forest that just run forest. Yeah, Silver Lining says we all want a garden that's weed free. Tag. It's just not reality. It is reality. See, that's the thing, is that we can create, a little more work. We can get it out.
We can create a little more work.
Yeah. Johnny says, laugh my ass out. B describing a food forest with her hand gestures. Yeah. Yeah. Food forest is part permaculture. Yeah. I wonder how anyone else would explain that. Let me see here. Punctured the hole with my thumbnail and put them in the pan in a damp paper towel. Then they go in tree pots to plant out after last frost.
She's talking about the moringa seeds.
Yeah. Let me see here. No, permaculture is a design system based on ethics and principles. The food forest is just one expression of permaculture. That's a great way to say that.
I knew he would have it.
Yeah. Yeah. Bee laughs from experience. Nature abhors straight lines. Monoculture always sows her wild seeds in with the gardener's best intentions. All right, conserve friend, I'll go back and look, but I'm pretty sure it's sent. I know I replied, but I'll go and look and see if it's in my outbox or something like that. I think permaculture goes hand in hand with food forest. Run forest run. That's a shirt if I ever saw one. Yes, it is. Yep, there's no such thing as a weed as we understand it. It's just a plant you don't understand the necessity of. B would agree with that. Yeah. MJ said it is a reality. You're talking about a weedless garden if you hire help.
It is a lot of work trying to do that.
Yeah, your gardens are weed free right now.
It's also got snow on the ground.
No weeds. It's weed free.
It is weed free.
Right?
There is not much growing up there.
Yeah.
The cilantro was growing. I bet it's still fine.
No, probably. Anyway, so that's what's going on with the food forest. We're working on it. I'll hopefully know more details on Monday to see if I can get some engineered plans done up here and see how that can actually benefit the entire community. Because that's what I think is really cool about it is, even though the engineered plans would be for my land, for a particular area that we pick out, it would still have all the plants, what plants with what, it'd still have all those other benefits that I think would, be out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. I rarely get a response from Tag, but I know he's always super busy. Yeah, Jules, it's just a lot. And, I read every one of your emails and I try to get back to them, but life's been super busy for me, especially these last 90 days. I don't want to get into details with it, but I've been tied up in some stuff that just takes a lot of my attention. And the good news is I'm hoping to be at the end of that. Would you agree?
Yes.
And hopefully I can get back to it. But if you guys have noticed, like in my videos, I haven't done as many videos in the last couple months. We do the lives and stuff like that. But hopefully I can get back to it. What are you looking for?
Silver Lining was asking MJ if she was volunteering.
Yep. Silver Lining is going to need some help.
Yeah. The potatoes don't dig up themselves.
Yep. Yeah, right. Weeds are there for a reason. The plant is doing something that needs to be done. The best way to not deal with them is to figure out what they're doing and replace them with something else that does. That's a good way to say that, huh? Yep. Let me see. Food forest. Imagine an orchard with berry bushes, vines, herbs, and edible ground cover all working in harmony. Right? That's how I see it.
That sounds delightful.
Here you go. Gizmo wants to know if you solarize your garden.
No.
You don't know.
No, what does that mean?
Yeah, okay.
Solarize? Solarize? There's sun getting on it.
Yeah, she's talking about putting the whole garden is in solar, bud. I think maybe he's talking about the, electrifying it, or I don't know.
The
Johnny. Yeah, that's exactly what I've been doing. Yeah, Tag's been busy rearing kittens.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Bird's eye view says every plant has a job and a reason for its existence, but please yell me why there are so many prickly weeds in Kansas, because you're supposed to stay out of that area.
Yeah.
No. We planted broccoli and cauliflower and reaped the dandelions and purslane that grew instead. My good, what is that word? Well, I had some, what's that word, pumpkin? Lagniappe?
Sure.
Okay, from Kentucky, one of my comfrey roots turned out to be a loquat.
Huh.
I put sun on my garden every day, laugh out loud. Yeah, me too. Yeah. Solarization. Let me see here. I put grass clippings around my plants to help keep the weeds down and the sun from drying out the soil. Yeah, we do the same thing, except we use hay. So my hay fields, all they are is prairie grass. They're just natural Kansas prairie grass. We bale them up. We feed them through the winter, and everything that's left over, we roll back out, and then she uses them to cover all of her plants in her gardens and all of those kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Silver Lining says it comes naturally. Milkweed. Why so much milkweed in Kansas?
Yeah.
Okay. Solarizing. Clear or black plastic for a period of time to kill weeds. I do know some things. All right, Ed, we'll rock on. Have you laid plastic out?
I don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, typically we go in there and just clear them all out and plant and then mulch to keep the weeds down.
Yeah. I mean, I have, so like those black rows that I lay down, sometimes you can burn holes in it and plant the plant in it, or I just roll it back up and put it back in the shipping container.
Yeah.
That's what it kills whatever. You can lay it down onto like weeds and it will kill whatever's underneath it if it's not getting sun.
Hippocrates says, solarize, till the soil to a powder, wet it down real good, cover with clear plastic, and make sure it's airtight. Really high micro greenhouse that kills weeds in the top inch or so. Yeah, bees not much for tilling.
Yeah.
Yeah. Solarization didn't work for me, so I'm trying occultation over winter. I know in 2 to 3 months if it worked. Solarization can kill the healthy microbes in your soil as well as weeds, so be careful with that. Lagniappe is slang for extra, a bribe in Louisiana. Oh, look at all you smart people. Oh my goodness. Think of solarizing as sterilizing the soil, both good and bad. Got it. Yep. Gregory says milkweeds are great for the monarch butterflies.
It is.
Yeah.
Not good for
so
goats.
occultation is black plastic removing the light. Got it. Oh, sorry. They're talking to each other. All right, got it. So anyway, guys, we'll keep you guys posted on what's going on with it. But we're hoping to surround the community building with a food forest, and the community building is underway.
The plans are.
Yeah, we need to know when Mike and Jen are going to be up to make sure I don't screw up the very important part called, anyway.
Water.
That part I'm pretty comfortable with. I'm more referring to bathrooms, but making sure we get all that right,
I thought you meant like he could test the system before we finish it.
Test the system.
Like make sure if the crimps are all done before we like finish the walls and then.
Oh no, I can crimp them.
But you didn't crimp them all. That's what I was wondering. Like if you could test the system before we put the walls up, and then I didn't know if there was like a way to do that with the air before.
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah, you can pressure test them.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah. Yeah.
So does he do that?
I'm sure he does it on all his stuff.
On all his stuff.
Yeah.
But you didn't do it on all your stuff.
Well, clearly not. I missed one.
So what would it take to get us to put an air to that?
Put an air chuck on one side and a gauge. Pump it up to 10 pounds, walk away, come back.
Pump it up to with what? Just the air bubble?
Yeah, you ordered my little Milwaukee air compressor. Put 10 pounds in it,
but
walk
then you
away.
Wouldn't know where the leak is until you put water in it.
But what you would know was if there is a leak. Right. Yeah.
That's a good idea.
Oh, there we go. My 50th birthday is next month. I think I'm going to be plumbing for my party. Yeah. Yes. Yeah, we can have a big old
plumbing anywhere
party
down here?
Yeah.
Up here?
I hear Kansas is nice this time of year.
It's a nice plumbing area.
Yeah. Yeah, love it. But anyway, guys, we will keep you up to speed on what's going on. But
with the building,
that's kind of where we're at as far as that goes. So.
Yeah, but we have broke ground.
Yep.
We know the size. We're still trying to determine
layout,
and if there's going to be dirt on two sides.
Did you guys see how she said that? It's really important
dirt on two
to watch
sides.
the body language right there. What she said was, and to see if we're still going to have the dirt on two sides. It's like she answers the question.
If I don't, I can't imagine what that would even look like.
Mhm.
I've never seen
Mm-hmm.
a earth contact house like that.
It's not that hard, babe.
It'd be like it's
You got-
gonna
you-
look like a wallopini with a
you're-
roof on the ground.
No, you'd have retaining walls coming out both sides with a concrete pad. You'd walk up, there'd be a couple doors. You'd walk in. It wouldn't be a big deal at all. See what you're thinking. What you're thinking is that all the land is flat across, but we're building it on a bowl. So by the time I
on
take
a
it out,
bowl.
yeah,
You went like this.
it's not just a slope like this; it's a slope like this too. So by the time you excavate it, you have flat sides on both sides, and dirt in the front and dirt in the back, and it would be flat. You just I promise you this is true.
Isn't the dirt going to come up the walls?
And the
Dirt
front,
is going to come up
the
the
retaining
walls.
the retaining walls you pop out, you'll have dirt on coming up.
I'm talking about the north and the south side of the building.
Yes, there'd be dirt coming up those if we did it that way.
That's what I think would look weird.
Skane's girl said, I wish I was closer. I could come help do plumbing. Yeah.
We would let you.
An opinion has been expressed. Yeah. So American Root says, I've mastered the carrot cake in culinary school. I've got one calling your name, friend. So, okay, so we've got this. So Mike and Jen are going to come out. We're going to spend Jen's 50th birthday doing plumbing while American Roots makes her a carrot cake.
It's not Jen's 50th birthday. Jen's not 50.
She looks 29.
Mike.
Oh my goodness. Mike asked me if I wanted to go to Scotland and check out my relatives and where I came from. I'm going to stay stateside for security reasons. Yeah, that's probably smart.
Heck yeah.
Conserve friends, this is what I've been trying to tell B, but she just doesn't get it. Read that comment.
I understand that. I just think it's going to look really funny.
Mm-hmm. Babe, we live in an off-grid home and everything's funny.
It'll look like a roof sitting on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a wallopini looks like.
No, it'll look like a short building because it's only in the ground like 3 or 4 feet. So then you've got another 5 feet above ground and then the roof. So it'll look like a short building. That's what it will look like. Tom says, after your garden's been solarized, you can get a 4-foot roll of lawn fabric all around the garden edges. Invasive Bermuda grass can't grow under it. Yep.
Yeah, that
So
sucks.
Jen says she's in for it. So all we got to do is American Roots is coming down to make carrot cake.
Oh, I love carrot cake.
Right. And Jen's going to come down and hang out for her 50th while Mario helps put some plumbing in. I think this sounds like a fabulous idea.
We got a plan.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Kind of like this. Okay, hold on, guys. I can share this picture.
There's grass on the top.
Yeah. Let me show you guys. Isn't it amazing technology?
Oh, look at your people are just right there.
Share screen. Share screen. Window. This one. There we go. Got it. This is what we're talking. So we just got this sent to us. And so, see, the back's got dirt. The front would have a little bit of dirt. But see, I'd have these openings. So kind of like that. Like, see these.
Oh, I was thinking
these,
of that. See
see
how
these
it's
wing walls?
covered on 2 sides.
Yeah, and see these wing walls? The wing walls would hold the dirt back. But so if the front side was dirt and the back side was dirt, the wing walls would be open to be the 2 sides.
That's somebody's house.
Yeah, how cool is that? I think that's cool as can be. Cool as can be. B, I see them all the time. You can plant herb on those dirt hills. I totally agree. Look at this. Mike turned double nickels last year. Yep, 50 for me. You don't look a day over 29.
No, you don't. Man.
Gizmo says, wouldn't it be safer for tornadoes? Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
Yes. Not on the west side.
Yeah. Pockery says, I also got some new tattoos in Dublin before coming home. From what I've been reading, you may want to put on a blue roof, just saying. Yeah. Yeah, we may want to, from what I've been reading as well. Hey, Birdseye turns 50 this year, too. Pretty cool. I already turned 50. I'm 50 now. B's 29. When will we be 30? Oh, it's another year away, right?
Like 4 years.
At least. Yeah, let me see here. then you can baby goats to eat the grass on the roof. Look at that. That is a really cool picture. Isn't that pretty?
I could be on the phone and go, just a second, I got to go get my goat off the roof.
Well, it wouldn't be any weirder than, showing up to a live, not combing your hair. I mean, yeah.
My hair's not that bad. Actually, that was kind of tangly, yeah.
No. Pack Rat says, tag, the bride wants a traditional farmhouse. I'm comfortable with a hobbit hole. I feel ya. Yeah. Yeah. Hikro says, I was 50 years ago. You were 29 50 years ago? Let me see. With a roof like that, is the government flies a drone over your property to access taxes, they won't know what they're looking at. Mm-hmm. Oh, I like that idea. Yeah. See, look at all these great reasons to put it in the ground, right?
I have to mow my roof. You're not talking about putting the roof in. You're not doing that.
No.
You're not putting grass on the roof.
No, I'm just talking about sinking the building in the ground 4 feet. Just to be
but if you did a green roof, it might look like grass. Probably not.
If I did a brown roof, it would look like dead grass. There are a few houses around here built into a hill. South side faces the sun. Yep. And we'll have the roof facing south so we can take advantage of the solar. Makes falling off the roof more difficult. You see here, there's a store in North Georgia called Goats on the Roof. It's become a tourist trap. See, you could attach a wallopini to it. No, Tambra, we could not. At least it's not a tin roof and the goats don't tap dance. Yeah. Oh. When my mom turned 50, I told her, don't think of it as 50 years. Just think of it as half a century. That didn't go over very well. Yeah, it would cut down the heating and cooling costs, which is exactly what I'm trying to get at, Mario says, tell me how it works. I asked my wife what she wants to do for her 50th. I want to see you work at Tags in Kansas. What the hell?
Yes.
Yep. You know what, Mario? It's just how it works. But here's the cool news. Maybe by the time that comes here, I'll have a food forest design and we can have lots of plants here. And B and Jen and Jess and all of the clan can play with the food forest while we figure out plumbing. That'd be pretty cool.
We'll play in the kitchen.
Yeah, Mario, I think that's perfectly said. That is a well thought out statement of your beloved bride.
I love it. I'd be honored.
Yep. Farmer here dug down south of his shed and built a semi-buried greenhouse, grows livestock fodder through the winter. Yeah. And we'd love to get that. We would love to do that. Big Kid says, just go ahead in the ground and earthship. Oh, yep. Silver Lining says she needs dates. So, yeah. So we need to get with American Roots because they're baking the carrot cake. Mm-hmm. So then we can get with Mario, right? And the 29-year-old, 50-year-old and figure out dates. So, yeah, we need to put something together.
She said her birthday's next month.
Yep. Yeah, we need to pick a day, and then I need to go get my butt busy and get all that dirt moved. Because if I got the dirt moved and the forms in, if we laid the plumbing, I could order concrete and the floor be in.
Oh, because it's all going
just like that, boom, boom, boom,
in the ground.
Yep. Silver Lining said, I wouldn't want to miss an opportunity to get with the team. Yeah, we wouldn't want to miss the opportunity to have you in the team, right? Yeah, we need to work on some dates. So B just told me, you guys didn't see it, but she just told me that she would get with Jen and with Jess and everybody and figure out a good date, right? Is that a yes?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Rock on. See how easy that is, everybody? Look at that. Just super easy, right?
Super easy.
Yeah. All right, what else you got? What else you want to talk
about? So I have 2 tires in the back of my Jeep.
Oh, did you get them both back?
Yeah, I got 2. I ordered 4. I had a flat tire on the Kubota. I took it in to get it fixed. Well, it sat flat all winter, and I was reprimanded. And I took it in, and
reprimanded is such a nice way to say that.
And the guy said, "Hey, bad news! It's got some cracks on the back of it."
I wonder why it had cracks in it. Any idea? Why would it have cracks in it?
Because it was old. He said it was an original tire.
Yeah, you don't think it has anything to do with that you let it sit through the winter in your shop on a flat?
That's probably not it.
That's not it? Oh,
he
okay.
didn't say that
Okay.
it was because it was flat all winter.
So
He said it was because it was an original
So I had to buy
tire.
4 brand new tires
Well,
for your UTV because the tires just got cracked by themselves.
He said that if they were the original tires, that you should go ahead and replace all 4.
Of course, he sells tires.
Well, he said it was probably necessary. Oh crap, I did not tell him I wanted the old tires back. So I have to take in the other I have to put these 2 on the Kubota and then jack up the other end and take those 2 off and take those in. Probably not on Monday.
Yeah. So I clearly don't know what I'm talking about, but just for any of you people out there who know anything about tires, if you let a tire sit flat on a concrete floor all winter long, and then you take the tire off and you take it to the shop to have it repaired, and they say there's, some cracking in it, could it have anything to do with the fact of it? Anything to do with the fact that it sat flat on a rim through the winter in a shop?
I aired it up several times through the winter. It just kept going flat.
Yeah. What I think did is you let it get flat and it ruined the tire, as I told you it would. And
you did mention that.
I did. And then when you got there, the salesperson there says, "Oh, I'm going to sell 40 tires."
Yes.
That's what happened.
And he did.
So anyway, the B-Mobile gets 4 brand new shoes.
I get 4 tires. Yes.
Yeah.
And so it should be ready to go for come spring.
Yeah, at least until it gets another flat tire.
And I found out too that I was able to each tire has 2 lug nuts and then 2 lug nuts that have the lugs in them. Stud nuts. Stud nuts. It's the lug nut with the lug in it. I don't know. He said, I'm sorry, I can't help you with that, he said. So you're gonna have to find that someplace else.
Gizmo says, what would you do with the old tires?
Well, you said that they weren't bad enough to get rid of.
I would agree with that. What I would do with them is...
You want to keep them in case we need them.
Yeah, I would put them on my tire rack.
He wants to save them.
Yeah, and then if we ever need another tire for some reason, then because they weren't that bad.
We can dust them.
Yeah, if they sat with air in them all winter long, we wouldn't have had these problems. But
how are you going to keep air in them now?
I'm not going to keep air in shit.
That would be weird.
Yeah. Gizmo says tires do have an expiration. Make sure to check out that they don't sell you old tires. Yeah, we need to find that out.
They have a date on them. Tires have a date on them. Something I never looked at.
Mm-hmm. Every tire around here is dry rotted for sitting so many years. Yeah, and dry rot's part of it. But this UTV is a 2018, so it'll be 6 years old, and they're probably the original tires on it. But super low miles, super, in perfect shape. Except it just
was going flat all the time.
Yeah, Gypsy said that the Wilson should be open. You could put feed pans in them. When I was younger, you guys don't know this about me probably, but I grew up on a horse farm, and my dad showed quarter horses all over the world. And he had a guy that would come out to the farm and had a weird looking machine, but he would cut the inner rim off of a tire, flip the thing inside out and make bowls out of them. And my dad would use them for feeders. I don't know if they still do that, but Ed says, B, consider yourself reprimanded for not getting the old tires back.
I know.
Yep. Mario says, any vehicle tire not being used for a long period of time will store better when you lift them up on jack stands and take the weight off of the tires. And if they're outside, cover the tires.
Huh.
No. I can't get her to keep the air in the tires, Mario. How am I supposed to ever get her to put them on jack stands?
That would be weird. My luck, I'd forget it was up on a jack stand and try to get it.
Oh my God. We used old tires to build a road across the swamp. I keep any of the tires that we replace that are marginally decent, I try to put them on my tire rack because you just don't ever know when I need a tire, Conservative friend says, laugh out loud, tag and be comedy team will be here all evening. Be sure to tip your waitress. Yeah. She does it for me. The littlest thing.
Oh, that makes me feel good. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Month and years on the side of the tire, says the instigator. Hey, Starla Doak, welcome. Yes, they do have a dated, it's coded, but you can look it up. Yeah, super cool.
Yeah. I was a little confused by those particular tires because the max pressure on there, and then it said something else on there. The max pressure. My Ryobi air compressor, the tire inflator measurer.
They call that an air compressor.
The measuring part, the part that tells you how much air is in it.
Yeah, the gauge that's on an air compressor.
Mine does not work. Yours does.
Yeah. My what?
Compressor.
What kind of compressor do I have?
Air.
What brand do I have?
Milwaukee.
Okay. Mine works fine, just for the record.
Yeah, I don't like yours because it has some kind of preset whatevers, and you have to press the button, and then if it's go, it just goes, and then you have to hurry up and turn it off because it's preset to a certain.
No, you go in there and preset it and say, I want 35 pounds of pressure, and it will shut off as soon as it hits 35
How am I supposed to know how much pressure I want? I want the tire aired up without blowing.
There's one, babe, there's one in there, and if you keep scrolling through, there's one that says blonde.
Oh,
if you hit blonde, it will
I'm not blonde.
Well, this is debatable.
No.
Tell her it's my 50th birthday, and all I want for her to do is lift her tires up on jack stands. Yep. Stuff old tiles with straw and set a water pan inside. Helps keep them from freezing. Oh, look at this. Bobby Seeger's in the house. My beautiful, wonderful, amazing sister from Belton, Texas. How are you, Miss Bobby? Let me see here. Oh, look at that. Yep. What is in the headlines this week? Oh my goodness, I still have 22 slides in here tonight.
Gosh, what have you been doing?
We've been just chit-chatting. Redneck says DeWalt works better. I would strongly disagree. I would say DeWalt worked better back prior to them being bought out by Black & Decker, and today they're inferior. However, we can just agree.
They're Black & Decker?
Yeah.
DeWalt?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
My first drill was a Black & Decker.
Yeah, and still working, huh? Oh,
no.
She's sleeping. Okay, so it's not my beautiful, wonderful sister from Belton, Texas. It's my amazing best friend all the way through high school, all the way through my life, Jeff, her amazing husband who's holding the fort down while she's sleeping.
And playing with her phone.
Yep, definitely grab the popcorn. Yeah, I know. Fill with concrete and a post, mobile fence posts. Talking about the tires. Right? Or mobile volleyball net, right? Red team all the way. Black & Decker used to be good too, but not now. Yeah, I know a lot of people who swear by DeWalt, and the truth is they make fine tool. Not Milwaukee fine, but fine. All right, should we get to the news? Everyone wants to talk about the news tonight?
Yeah, because we only have a few more minutes.
Well, we have 45 minutes. We'll get through it. So this was actually sent to me today by Gypsy, who is in the chat tonight. And apparently George Soros is set to seize control of Odyssey's 220 radio stations ahead of the election. Far-left billionaire George Soros is set to seize control of Odyssey's 220 United States radio stations ahead of the 2024 presidential election, the New York Post reported. Soros's fund manager, the hedge fund manager investment management company, has purchased $400 million of the radio's platform's debt. Odyssey, formerly radio.com, is the second largest radio broadcaster behind iHeartMedia. Last month, the company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy and has announced that it had reached a pre-packaged restructuring support agreement with the majority of its debt holders. Okay, got it. Anyways, I find this interesting that, you know who George Soros is, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that half now of the radio stations will be owned by George Soros. You know, but they've been control of the media for a long, long time. Hey, Miley, welcome.
For a long time.
But you know, this certainly, I don't think this bodes well for freedom of speech in any way. at all. But I think, guys, at the end of the day, as the country continues to lose control, the grip gets tighter. The laws get more and more absurd anyway.
How old is George Soros?
No, I don't like a ninth. I don't know. He might be, the Antichrist and be 700 years old. But LJC says, what could go wrong with Soros in charge of radio stations? Too. Yeah, nothing, right? I mean, he's an honest guy, right?
Yep. Hardworking individual.
Yep.
He's
all right. What else we got? So, our thoughts and our prayers, guys, go out to those innocent people who were targets of violence in Kansas City after the Super Bowl, right? There was a parade, and I'm sure everybody's heard about it. And so there was this parade afterwards, and there was 20
after
people
the Super Bowl.
After the Super Bowl. And hey, Nitos, welcome. And so they had this parade. There was like 20 people shot. One middle-aged female has died.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
They originally detained 3 suspects. They've released 1. They still have 2. They're referring to them as minors. They're not really giving us a lot of information. But anyway, our thoughts and our prayers go out to them, the people that were hurt. But some interesting things that have come from it, I think. So this was an article that I found on CNN today that said Missouri has some of the weakest gun laws in the U.S. And here's how that has impacted the Kansas City shooting investigation. And it's interesting to me how they use the weakest gun laws when the fact is all gun laws are unconstitutional.
Yeah.
Right? So One Step Closer says that it was gangbangers. And I've heard that. I've heard it was also immigrants. I've heard all kinds of things, but I have not seen. Let me see. Did you see that? Huma Abedin, Weiner's ex and Hillary Clinton? I didn't. LJC said, I thought the Missouri gun lines tightened up after the guy in KC shot the black kid at the door. Well, apparently not. But anyway, kind of back to what I was saying, I think it's interesting that you're seeing kind of this attack a little bit on the gun laws in Missouri and some other things, but there's some interesting developments that have come that I think you guys should be interested in. So if you look on the right-hand side down there was some quotes that came out of some of the Kansas City players. Justin Reed talked about, this is sad, man, kids are being shot, blah, blah, blah. Charles Omenihu says, prayers for those affected in today's parade. Again, talks again about, gun control. Travis Kelce said there needs to be more strict gun laws, especially when toddlers are dying. We can't have that in our communities. By the way, I'm unaware of any toddler that died. Well, there were some children that were shot that went to Children's Mercy, but have not been reported that they've, done that. And President Biden is now calling for immediate gun control reforms. What I find interesting is I found a post out there by a guy named Robert Wood who says, and this is on the right, says that NFL and pro sports associations send a letter demanding Congress pass gun controls right before Super Bowl, which is true. They did. And then step 1, a few days later, there's a parade shooting. Step 2, ramp it up in the media like the Las Vegas style false flag mass shootings. Check. Step 3, get chief spokesperson to call for gun control, right? We just talked about players and, all of them calling for that. Step 4, have Taylor Swift and Kelsey call for gun control. Check that one. At the time, he said coming soon, but that's already happened. And then step 5, Congress introduces bipartisan gun control coming soon. Step 6, set up more false flags. And I find it interesting, on the very next day, Biden signs gun control executive orders regulating firearms, right? And so he kind of called it, I think, in a lot of ways.
That's the second Biden, by the way. That's not the first Biden.
How do you know?
Look at his face. You can tell that's not the same guy.
B thinks there's more than one.
There is.
Yeah. Yeah. Gregory says that we don't need stronger gun laws. We need stronger idiot laws. Yeah. Let me see here. We need laws to outlaw murder. Exactly. You agree with that?
Yes.
You agree that we need laws to outlaw murder?
Isn't it already illegal?
Yeah, it's already illegal, pumpkin. Enjoyed the chat. Y'all have a good, blessed week. Got to get up early. Hey, good night, RN.
Have a good rest.
Yeah. Let me see here. Regardless, what they did was illegal no matter how you cut it. Actions are legal or illegal. If the existing laws didn't work, how will new ones? Totally agree.
Well,
now you say it like that. Nito says, I saw the news interview witness whose daughter was standing next to the woman shot. She said it was teens who got into a disagreement and two of them pulled out guns and started shooting. Yeah. You see here, there are more than one of all of them. There are more than one of all of them. I thought the same thing, B. That doesn't look like the original mummified meat puppet. That's going to just hold forever. You know that?
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, I missed it. It says there were many Saddams, like 10. Remember Saddam Hussein? They had a whole bunch of different ones.
They showed different pictures of different guys.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember that.
You don't?
Mm-hmm.
Michael Conley says it doesn't matter how many gun laws get passed. Criminals are going to be criminals. Could not agree more. Trump, a doppelganger, was hard to believe it was a double. Yeah, B has pointed out several times to me, like, wait a second, that's not the same Biden, right? You have several times to me along the way. Yep, Silver Lining says broader forehead, not Biden. Country for Sure says, I agree with B. G. Johns, welcome. Says he doesn't look like Jeff Dunham's Walter in the picture. Yeah, he doesn't. You know who Jeff Dunham is? He's a ventriloquist, and he has a Biden puppet.
Does he?
Oh, and he's so good. It cracks me up. It's sad that they don't realize criminals don't obey laws. Nope.
How can they not see this?
If you added all the imposter Bidens together, it would add up to a whole man. Yeah. Yeah.
Together they'll make a sentence that makes sense.
Yeah, he looks too intelligent. Yeah, but what it says is the Biden-Harris administration announced a set of executive actions aimed at addressing the critical issue of gun violence, with particular focus on encouraging secure storage of firearms to prevent children from accessing guns. This move comes in response to a disturbing high rates of school shootings, youth suicides, and accidental injuries due to unsecured guns in homes. The newly introduced executive order includes initiatives to improve background checks, increase accountability within the gun industry, and provide assistance to communities that have been impacted by gun violence. And I think what's so crazy about that is really where it talks about how increased accountability in the gun industry. If we get to a point where we can hold gun manufacturers liable for people shooting people, then there is nothing that stops us from holding car manufacturers liable when someone gets an accident, or holding vaccine manufacturers liable for deaths. Oh, wait, that's right.
Alcohol, hammers.
They don't do that with vaccines. That's right. They hold them harmless. But anyway,
those guys are.
They get off free and clear. But it sets an absolute horrible precedence, in my opinion. They do see it. That's the purpose. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So I think you're going to see a big old rush to, run after guns again, like they've been trying to do for a long time. Or holding little Debbie for making me Big Deb, or a fork manufacturer for making Rosie get fat. Right. And there's a million of those. Right. But I will tell you guys, I am quite proud of the fact that as soon as that happened, Kansas comes out with legislation HB 2803, and the law is to create the Kansas Gun Right Preventions Act to prohibit the commandeering of state resources to enforce federal gun controls against law-abiding citizens. So Kansas launched that today, which I thought that was pretty exciting. And hopefully it goes all the way through. Hopefully it passes. But what I find fascinating is in there, and I'm going to talk about this a little bit later as we go through this, there's a lot of states saying no to the federal government right now. And this is a great example. I'm going to show several more examples kind of as we go through, The Biden administration has blah, 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 racist, blah, 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 blame previous administration, blah, 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 spend more money on. Not pretty much. Except I could actually articulate and understand what you said, Hippocrates. If that was Biden, it would say, right. Yep, I'm sure the community of East Palestine, Ohio would appreciate some assistance if they really want to offer community assistance. Amen, right? Ouch. Yep, yay, Kansas. Go, Kansas. Whoopee. Yep. Let me get back up here. Guns have been around for centuries. Schools have been around for centuries. All these things have been around for centuries. The question is, why has human life become so cheap? Yeah, no doubt. Conservative Friend says libs understand gun laws. They want to eliminate guns to wield more control. You bet they do. I'm sorry, they're talking together. All right. Anyway, I was pretty excited to see that Kansas did this. And, we talk about how states are beginning to stand up, and a lot of it's, going on. And I wanted to show you guys a map. You know what all of these states have in common?
They're green.
You were so smart.
I know. Or are you talking about the white ones? They're white.
Yeah. No, I'm talking about the green ones.
Okay, they're green.
Yeah. You know what they all have in common? So these are the 29 states now that have offered support to Texas for the border issues. All of these states have either sent aid, said they're going to send aid, or, sent National Guard troops or whatever. But all of these states now, not in total. So let me give you an example. Like here in Kansas, our governor isn't going to do anything, but the attorney general is a guy named Chris Kobach. And Chris has agreed to it. And
agreed to what?
To send aid to Texas.
What aid?
So,
Any aid?
so like Georgia today sent a whole nother set of National Guard troops, for example, to go help guard the border from what they're calling the invasion, right? But lines are, my point is lines are being drawn, right? These are the states that have come together to offer this aid. And what I think is interesting, if you guys go back to the beginning of all of our videos, very early on, we did a threat and needs analysis on finding land. Add this map to it. I think you'd find some really fascinating things that happen, by the way.
That would go, I mean, everybody's threat and need would be different, right? So,
Yep. And, you guys know, I don't believe that there's a political solution to the political problems that we have today. But if you want to write your congressman or senator, if you live in one of those white states, and say, what's wrong with you? Because this is not a Democrat or Republican issue. This is an American security issue. Right?
No, you'd think right there New Mexico would be right there with them, since they're teetering on the border themselves.
Nope, not as of this morning, at least. But I think Leela says it best, right? That's beautiful. Right? Look at that. That's the majority, guys. That's,
would you say there's 29?
29 states. 29 of 50 states, right, have agreed to send aid or send support in some manner, right? Karen says, not my stinking liberal state. Why did we do away with so many state mental health hospitals? Yeah, I don't have any idea why that is, Gizmo. Anybody have any ideas why that has happened?
They put them out in the public, right?
That photo of the come and take it flag flying over the Texas National Guard. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think this is important. Power only exists when we give them the power. When we stand up and say, no, guys, we've been talking about this for the existence of Life Done Free, the existence of our YouTube channel, right?
Yeah.
We've been talking about this and talking about this. When you stand up, they don't have any power. Yeah.
I hear more and more people saying, all we have to say is no. We don't have to join them.
Yeah, we don't have to. Just like Texas, who led the way and told the federal government no. And then Oklahoma sends aid, and Nebraska sends aid, and Montana and Idaho and Georgia and Alabama, Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana, Missouri, Iowa, Ohio, and Indiana, Kentucky, West Virginia, Tennessee, Florida, South Carolina, and Georgia all said no. How cool is that?
Yeah.
Right? No is a complete sentence.
And Alaska.
LJC says, you are so cute, B. New Mexico is one of the bluest states there is. Our government thinks there will be another Democratic president, and she is gunning for a cabinet position. Mm. Oh, Vicky says, because it was inhumane. That was in reference to the mental hospital quote. Yeah, I wrote them. Only a few responded. Yeah, I was actually kind of surprised, MJ, to not see Wisconsin in there. Specifically Wisconsin and Michigan, maybe even Pennsylvania. Vermont would be another one. North Carolina, even some. Like I buy New Mexico, Colorado, California, Oregon, but.
You think New Mexico because of its political, like what LJC said?
Yes.
They're right
Good night,
there,
Lisa.
though. They would be so affected almost immediately.
Yeah. Yeah, it's right there, right? It shares the border. Gizmo, there's no money for mental hospitals. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's because we're spending too much money overseas, which we will also talk about, right? Several U.S. House reps filed an amicus to the Supreme Court of the United States today defending Texas. Good. I think we're seeing lines drawn, and I think this is Hope you guys don't mind my crude map, but I was in a hurry and I just took a
Are you the
highlighter.
one that colored that?
Yeah, I just
I
took a
was
highlighter.
wondering how come there's some that were like extra green.
I just took a highlighter and filled them in.
Then I thought that it was just a kindergartner that colored it.
Yeah. Cheryl Seller, good evening to you. Yes, but what is the reason behind it? I don't trust any of them. I don't trust any of them either. And I think you can look at it a lot of different ways, right? And it might be, who knows? Who knows what to think of it? I do think, though, I would put the trust in the hands of the individual states over that of the federal government. I mean, I'd rather, hitch my wagon to individual state rights than I would. Let me see here. The abuse that was reported in the institutions. I watched a few documentaries on asylums and such many years ago. There were some bad things that were going on.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the unshaded states are also the ones blaming Texas for sending illegals to their state. What's the darker green mean? Yeah, it's where I overlapped with my highlighter, Mr. Seeger. Let me see. Philly and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania are blue. The rest of the Commonwealth is red. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see Pennsylvania and Michigan. I think is a lot that way too, and Wisconsin jump on there. Obviously not Illinois, not New York, not New Jersey, right, or Maryland or any of them. But LJC says New Mexico's a sanctuary state. We have all kinds of homeless problems down here on the border, but she lives up in Santa Fe where they bus the homeless down here to us. Right. Hickshaw 54 says the governor election was stolen in Wisconsin. Yeah, but it's the same thing, guys. Here's the thing. Kansas, the state that I live in, the governor is not on board with this, but the attorney general and a bunch of other people said we're doing it anyway. Right. And so now there's an internal fight going on, which I'll talk a little bit about too. Welcome to the new Republic of Greater Texas. We'll join OPEC and the BRICS Alliance. Ouch. Yeah. Let me see here. If you look into the school shootings, a good portion of the shooters were involved with the transgender and LBQ issues. 100%. And isn't it funny, MJ, how they don't want to tell you that on the news? You have to really dig into the article to find out that those shootings often are done.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. The last couple of them have been like that. And they just obviously don't want you to see it because that doesn't help their point, right?
Oh, right.
So check this out, you guys. We talk about that. So Kansas, here's another Kansas article that I'm very proud of. So county commissioners in Western Kansas defend their citizens, declaring no sanctuary for illegal immigrants. At least two of our neighboring counties just over the border in Kansas, including Thomas and Wallace County, have taken the step to draw a line in the sand and formally pass legal statements announcing their county is not a sanctuary county and their communities will oppose entry, transportation, employment, settlement of illegal immigrants in their respective counties. Two more counties in Western Kansas, including Wichita County and Sherman County, are currently developing their own resolutions to put in place what they consider a document that will help to protect their precarious rural communities. Pretty cool. That's Kansas, though, right? I mean, that's our home. I thought that's pretty interesting. You think that's interesting?
That is interesting.
And
I didn't realize that was all going on.
Yeah. Well, and what's fascinating, the reason why I brought that article even up really had more to do with when Texas took a stand against the federal government and another state joined, and then another state joined, and another state joined, much like the revolution. In the early days of the revolution, there were very few people involved in it. But as it began to gain steam, more and more and more and more people became involved. And it's no different than what we're seeing right here in Kansas. So now you had one county, Rawlins County, said no. And then boom, there was Thomas County. And then a day later, Wichita County joins in. And so it just starts picking up momentum. And this is how eventually we just get to ignore them and tell them no.
But they're still bussing people out. They're still sending people to these communities, right? People that don't.
Oh, yeah. So, the federal government isn't just going to sit on their hands, right? They're going to do all they can do to push their narrative.
Yeah.
Right. But if the states will band together and just say no, there's nothing the federal government can do about it.
Except drop people on the streets.
They're
bussing them and dropping them off with a gift card.
The state would have the ability to shut that down and say, no, you're not doing it.
How would they know? How would they know they were coming?
They could put a highway patrolman at every highway coming into the state. I don't know. What I'm saying is they have the ability to stop it, Here in Texas, we laugh at Chicago and New York when they cry about 2 busloads. Down here, small towns handle thousands a day.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. Miley says, I know this is off topic, but need to know how much a gallon of honey costs. What's the most you've paid? Well, 5 gallons is $198, right?
$200.
So about $200 for a 5-gallon bucket.
That's cheap though.
But that's buying it in a 5-gallon bucket. So I've seen gallons up to $100.
For a gallon. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
$80.
Yeah.
For a gallon.
Yeah, Jackson County needs to do that, says LJC. Well, LJC, could you imagine if there was anybody you would know in Jackson County who would happen to send that article to those people?
They should.
I did. Yeah, our commissioners got both of those tonight, and I assure you, LJC,
that's showing the other communities in Kansas
and asking why are we not doing this? And I can assure you, LJC, I will follow up. Let me see here. Nevada is also a state that most of the state is conservative except 2 counties, Reno and Las Vegas. Yep. Same in Kansas, guys. We have 105 counties in Kansas. And of the 105, 102 are conservative.
I thought it was 104.
105.
Did we gain one?
No,
it's always been 105.
It's always been 105, at least as long as we've lived here. Probably not always, but why now and not 4 years ago when this all started? Yeah, who knows, Cheryl? I don't know. And I think that's a fair question and a valid question. Maybe everything
it wasn't affecting them.
No, it's always affected Texas, right? People coming across the border and smuggling drugs is always.
I thought she meant the other states.
Yeah. Oh, right. Maybe she did mean the other states. Maybe it's time and pressure. Maybe they're finally tired of it, or maybe there's something else going on.
So you think with Texas that's been going on, and they just have been letting it, and then now that they're coming in more at a time, they're trying to stop it? Or
I don't even know if it's more at a time, but maybe it's just a case of I'm done, I'm
hour.
tired of it. We've dealt with this for so long. The federal government ain't doing anything. We got to do something about it. We got to take control of it because this is getting out of control. Maybe, or again, maybe it's a bigger movement about a coup or about something else, about separating the United States, or maybe it's Chinese or Russian actors trying to separate and create divide in our country. I don't know, babe. I mean, the problem is all of it could be true, right? Any piece of it, but I think it's just interesting to watch all the divide.
I just heard a video of Biden saying that the Texas border is not secure because of Trump's doings.
Well, of course, there's a lot of stuff that actually got some. If we get far enough into it later on in my slides, there's some Trump stuff in there that I find pretty fascinating. But problem is, we're never going to know the truth. Us peons, One Morocco says, and during the Super Owl, they gathered another bill to send $90 billion of your taxpayer dollars to other countries. Yes, they did. And they were working on it hard while, everybody was watching, Taylor Swift cheer for her man at the Super Bowl. Let me see here. The feds are probably moving more than Texas, just covertly. Probably. But, there's going to come a time where someone's going to have to give. Someone's going to have to back down, whether it be the feds or whether it be, the Texas National Guard. But all I can say is, I'm proud of Texas for at least standing up. Again, I don't totally know, what it would be, or what the reason is. But Life Mega Jen says they sneak them in at night. Let me see here. Tamara said there have been 2 incidences this past week in Texas that could be a terrorist thing. I would love if you, Tamara, when you run across articles or stuff like that, feel free to send them to me and I'll put them on the live. See, they're talking about they pay $40 a gallon for honey in Cheryl,
holy smokes.
48. Those are all good prices, right? I just paid 48 in Wisconsin.
For a gallon.
Yeah, most of Nebraska is red except the eastern part of the state, Lincoln and Omaha. I think that's true for pretty much every state, right? And this is why TAG isn't getting a spot on the council. Yeah, exactly. 100%. That is true. Let me see here. The liberal takeover of big cities and states to control and try to turn the rest of the states. Yeah, they've done that on purpose. They've been picking winners and losers for a long time, Vicki, which is why I always talk about on the live. It's time for us to start picking winners and losers. They have a better opportunity in mind for TAG. Yeah, apparently, right? Why now? Because it's gotten bad enough now. Well, Grumpy Acres, he has a great quote, Garen, that I've always thought a lot about. He said, nothing's going to change until the soccer moms and the NASCAR dads feel enough pain. And maybe there's enough soccer moms and NASCAR dads in Texas saying enough's enough. I think, guys, what we're going to see here pretty quick, we're going to see them turn on Biden pretty hard. And I think you'll see, they're going to create the great boogeyman. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that if we get far enough, too.
NASCAR dads?
NASCAR dads.
Who's going to turn on Biden? You said they're going to.
The Democrats are going to turn on Biden.
Oh.
Here shortly. They're going to start with this whole mental thing. And anyway, I don't want to derail, but they're absolutely going to. Nobody cared when it just happened to the border states. Things got heated when we started sending illegals into sanctuary cities. Yeah. Great point. Yep, it's a pony show to keep everyone distracted. Oh my goodness, I'm so far behind. American Roots says, I live in the heart of Phoenix and I'm looking. I am aware. 1 in 5 cars has a Sonoran or Durango plate. My insurance is $600 a month for 2 trucks. I'm paying more for my country to be invaded. Yes, you are.
$600 a month for 2 trucks.
We don't pay anywhere near that. 4 or 5 Republicans voted nay with the Democrats for, which this was the insane that anybody would have voted not to impeach that guy. Because there's so much proof coming out now, the shenanigans that they've been up to, which I've got a slide or 2 in here to talk about that. But please don't let it be Big Mike on the Dem ticket. I think they're going to totally bail on Biden, and they're going to bring somebody in that they think they can win, probably somebody young, so they can, blame the old issues. But I absolutely think, right here, the Olstein's church shooting was a LBGQ shooter. Pro-Palestinian statement was on her rifle. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Okay, want to talk about a new topic?
Sure.
This I found interesting. Check this out. So do you guys know who Thomas Massey is? So Representative Tom Massey is a good guy, seems to stand up for a lot of things, but I found this interesting. He was talking about how the CDC is changing their definition of things, newspeak. So what he shared he was on the floor and he shared this, that the vaccination pre-2015, the definition was an injection of a killed or weakened infectious organism in order to prevent the disease. From 2015 to 2011, the definition was changed to the act of introducing a vaccine into the body to produce immunity to a specific disease. Following September of 2021, vaccination was defined as the act of introducing a vaccine into a body to produce protection from a specific disease. That's actually, to me, is really, 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 really important. They went from preventing to creating immunity to offering protection. Right? So the vaccines aren't there anymore to prevent any diseases, nor are they there to give you immunity against any diseases. They're now there to offer some level of protection
from specific
diseases. Yeah. Anybody else find that fascinating? Because what this allows them to do, right? They went from COVID vaccine in the very, very beginning, for example, would prevent the spread. And then they went down to, it would give you immunity. But now because people are still catching it and it's not preventing the spread and all of those, now it's going to offer you some level of protection. I think it's absolutely crazy.
Well, and they can.
What do you think of that?
I think they can inject you with anything and say it's there to protect you.
This is a play on words, though. I think this is really important.
Right.
Protection isn't an infinite word like immunity, right? It isn't to me. Let me see here. What's Pack Rat?
Or prevent.
Carrie Davis said, Big Pharma wants customers, not cures. You are 100% correct. The act of introducing one into the body to produce profit from a specific disease. I can't argue with that. Oh, LJC, great catch. COVID that was patented in 2015.
Oh.
You love all the little pieces that come together. I don't know if you guys think that is just absolutely fascinating, but I find that kind of stuff, all the little knots and all the little,
You find
you
it
tie those
fascinating. I
things.
think it's sick and twisted.
Let me see here. Pediatric clinics put a lot of pressure on parents about the never-ending list of vaccinations. mRNA will be in other vaccines. Yes, it will. And I think we as parents really got to be careful now, because you can't really trust any of that stuff. And I don't know that you ever could, but I certainly feel like it's worse now.
Yeah, I think that a lot more parents are going, maybe we won't.
Yeah. Population control to weaken their citizens, 100%, and make them dependent. And I think a lot of it too is I think sometimes we give the government more credit than they deserve. You know what I mean by that? Like, we talk about this big boogeyman that's thought everything out 75 steps in advance, when part of me thinks it's just like in this particular case, they just don't give a shit about you. It's about how can we make a whole bunch of money through Pfizer and those, but it's not this well thought out plan. It's literally greed and corruption, and they're bigger than you and badder than you. And, that it's just,
I think if it was to protect you, then there would be some kind of, if it doesn't work, we'll take the blame. Yeah. We'll have some kind of repercussions in the end. But if it's here, let me inject you with this, and sorry, I'm not going to be held responsible for anything that I'm injecting you with. I think that is sick and twisted.
Yeah.
And the whole do no harm just went right out the window.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's crazy. And I think I'm reading more and more stuff all the time about, the injuries that have come from it. And we've talked about it on our live, how the federal government's hiring lots and lots of attorneys to defend some of these cases. Even though they say they can't be sued, lawsuits are still being brought up again. They are. Oh yeah. And it's getting more and more and more. Guys, there's so much going on in our country, and there's so many polarizing things to cause divide and to cause things. They will not take much of a match, I mean, you just have so many things. We just spent all this time talking about the border, and now we're still talking about COVID, which now, and I was reading today as I was preparing for the live, there's a bunch of articles talking about how it's going to come back strong this year. And, maybe they're going to recommend another booster and blah, 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 blah.
They're still going about the whole booster thing.
They're still going about it, even though with everything else.
Well, I'm sure that there's people out there that do absolutely believe in their heart of hearts that the vaccines are working, that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, and that we should all still continue to do it.
LJC, who is, for those of you guys who don't know, is super educated in this particular spot. I'll leave it at that, but says, I love it when people say, well, I got all the vaccines and I'm okay. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, 30 years ago, you got less than half of these. Right?
Yeah.
Tamara says they don't care about people. They're trying to reduce the population. Yeah, I don't think they care about anybody. The movie 1986, The Act by Andy Wakerfield of Austin, is an excellent about how big pharma does not need to pay. The federal government pays when a person sues. Yeah. My daughter took the vax to keep her job and has had COVID 5 times since. Australia is now allowing people to sue the employer for demanding the jab. See, I think you're going to see more and more of this, Carrie Davis, and I think this is a wonderful, wonderful thing. Nobody should be above it.
Australia.
Yep, nobody. Sorry, they're talking together. My bad. Shit, one of my best friends got it to keep his job, and his wife, 8 months pregnant, now has heart problems. Dude's 35. And, I kind of feel bad for him. I mean, even though everyone makes their own decisions, but I mean, there's a lot of propaganda and a lot of stuff that goes around about those kind of things. I think you're going to see more and more of it. I think we're just scratching the beginning of the COVID fallout and what happens behind it. But now the real problem is everyone's lost trust in it. And so what happens when there's a real issue?
Yeah.
Perception is reality. I could not agree more. Everyone I talk to here in Texas is sick of it. I know hard Democrat that is sick of Biden and the immigration issues. I have not heard one support illegal immigration. Well, they're going to turn on Biden. And this might be the boogeyman they used to do it. Right?
A new sickness?
No. They're talking about the illegal immigration. What they'll do is they would say something like, Biden has let the border go out of control. We can't take this anymore. He's asleep at the wheel. Look, he's mentally challenged. We need to use Article 25 and let's get rid of him. And we'll bring in a new candidate to run against Trump, because right? Because Biden can't. But I would absolutely expect them to turn quick. I have no idea where I left off at. We'll try right here. Who's the Super Bowl player they paid $20 million to do a vaccine commercial? Oh, there was a couple of them, wasn't there?
I don't know.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I don't remember.
$20 million to do a commercial.
What bothers me is that there's labs that still have samples of communicable diseases. I believe they will release them if too many people quit getting all of these vaccines. Well, the big study of the disease X, what they're talking about is it's coming through the water, and water.
Oh, I saw
Right?
that.
Did you hear all that? Yeah, got to get your own water sources, right? We can't. Anything, guys, that we have to ask permission for is a way for them to attack you. When I talk about attack you, and you guys have heard me say this many times, I'm not talking necessarily about, I'll shut your water off. I'm talking about literally a way to attack you, right? And so this is, and crazy. Kelsey, that's right. That's who it was. Kansas City Chief.
That's his girlfriend.
Taylor Swift's boyfriend. Yeah. Which he just called for gun control, right?
Yeah.
After all of that. Yep. Yeah, we will see the long-term effects and damage down the road. We will. Yep. All of a sudden, Biden's incompetent. No, it's because he is losing to Trump. That's right. That's what I mean. Eagle lovers, exactly that. They're going to turn on him. Yes. And he was talking about stronger guns. What a surprise.
What a surprise.
Huh? They will turn on Biden, but won't happen till the last minute. There's always a plan behind it all. Well, of course there is. Yeah. Huge psyop. Tim perfectly said. I could not agree more. I'm going to talk about the psyop of what's kind of in the news here if we get to it. You see here, I'm saddened by all of the kids that parents made get it. That's the future generation that had no say. How does anyone know what it does to a growing body? Well, I don't think nobody knows yet, right? Yep, home births and no vax is what I believe. And I think there was, I missed it up here, but silver lining, right here, says that it's seeing a lot of birth defects too, and she would also know. All right, ready for a new topic? Since we're at an hour 51.
See, that's a different guy right there.
Yeah, okay, so this was the big headline of the week, which was Joe Biden speaks out on the nuclear threat from Russia. So it came up in the news this week that Russia has or is developing some big anti-satellite technology, which is basically nukes in space.
Okay.
Right. So that was the big push. And guys, it had a huge effect. I can tell you my connections in the marketplace, people who sell prepping relating things, all sales are up. Right. I can tell you with 100% certainty. Right.
That means people are taking care of their own needs,
maybe, but whether this is propaganda, I'll talk about this a little bit, but I'm going to just cover some headlines real quick to help talk about the case. So the U.S. troops will be on the front lines against Russia without further Ukraine aid, Senator Coons says. So they need to justify going to war with Russia. In my opinion, America wants to go fight Russia, but we've got to find a reason to go fight them. And so the first reason is, they've got nukes in space, they can nuke us. Right. Again, now they're threatening us if we don't give Russia more aid, even though it's funny, on Super Bowl Sunday, they approved a whole bunch of new aid for the Ukraine.
Yep.
But as of 5 hours ago, as you can see this, U.S. troops will be on the front lines against Russia without further aid. We just gave them a whole bunch. Right.
Yeah. Like not even a week ago.
Yep. Russia's getting ready for war with the West, report claims. And this was from the Estonia Secret Service, says in summary, Russia's plan to increase its military force is ambitious. However, it is also a source of threat for Estonia and NATO, contributing to Russia's aggressive posture, military potential, and growing militarization, reinforcing Russia's apparent path of a long-term confrontation with the West. Right. Russia is developing a space-based nuclear weapon to target satellites, U.S. Congress reveals, published 1 hour ago. So, guys, there are big things about this. So if they have weapons in space, they would have violated that. There's a treaty back in like 1967, the weapons in space treaty. They would have violated the treaty if they actually had weapons in space. But guys, I'm going to tell you something. With nukes up in space, they could EMP very easily and shut the whole thing down. They could shut all the satellites down. They could do all of this. But what I'm thinking is, as I was mentioning before, if you guys look on the left-hand side there, that's the first clip of news headlines in reference to this. I didn't edit them. I just clipped them up there. what I really wanted to share with you guys is what is actually going on, or what I think. The U.S. is setting the stage to accuse Russia of violating the 1967 Outer Space Treaty. They want the Russian space nuke claims declassified so NATO can publicly use this to justify declaring war on Russia before Ukraine loses entirely. Claims of Russian space nukes were likely leaked to the press intentionally to initiate steps towards overt war between NATO and Russia. The United States government leveling this striking accusation against Russia appears to be a psyop. The allegations against Russia are a violation of the 1967 Outer Space Treaty, with Russia allegedly positioning nuclear weapons in space or planning to do so. But beneath the surface of these claims lies a deeper, more strategic play, suggesting that the U.S. psychological operations aimed at justifying NATO's military involvement in the ongoing conflict with Ukraine. Sources close to the White House revealed pre-planned classified meeting initially set to discuss what was termed a serious national security threat. What's so big about this is, again, they got to sell to the American people why we have to go kick Russia's ass.
Yeah.
And so if we blame Russia for putting nukes in space, they violated it, we're at a huge threat. Do you guys want to get nuked? We got to go do something about it. Just a big
it's
absolute.
our duty to do it.
It's our duty to do it. Perfectly said, B. Perfectly said. See, how can they do that without congressional approval? Isn't it unconstitutional? Well, yes, but so is income tax. It's unconstitutional. I mean, there's a million things that are going on. What's going on in Texas right now on the border is unconstitutional. Any power not specifically given to the federal government lies in the hands of the state, period. That's what it says, right? And so, yes, it's absolutely unconstitutional. Let me see, Life with Mike and Jen, they told me I couldn't donate in Minnesota if I didn't answer the question. I must have missed something up there, guy.
To donate blood.
Oh, okay, got it.
You have to tell them
if you're a pure blood or not.
Vaccinated.
Putin said if American troops are on the front lines in Ukraine, it will be all-out war with the U.S. Oh, does that mean that Minnesota is more liberal than Cali? It actually might be now. Yeah, Russia hasn't followed the nuke treaties. No, they haven't followed any of them. 100% they haven't followed them.
Because they weren't supposed to have nukes in the first place, right?
Yeah. Well, no, they've had nukes. They have more nukes than we do.
What was it that they were not supposed to have? Or was that wasn't Russia?
That wasn't Russia. Russia's got a bigger nuclear force than America does. But what I think is so fascinating about this is, you guys, I'm telling you, just look at the news. All it is the threat of Russia, the threat of Russia, the threat of Russia, the threat of Russia, China, disease X, the threat of Russia, the threat of Russia, Chinese disease X, right? You're going through a cycle trying to keep us all in fear. And I'm not suggesting Russia's not a threat. I'm not suggesting that if nukes weren't in space that we shouldn't take the threat seriously. But what I am suggesting is this will absolutely justify CBDC, the central bank digital currency. It will absolutely justify the draconian measures of lockdown. It will justify martial law. It will justify sending money over to the Ukraine and to launder more additional money. It will absolutely justify all of these things. And it's all being perfectly set up to do exactly that. If it wasn't for Russia and China sending these immigrants to the border to invade us, right? If it wasn't, I mean, they're going to continue to add on to the story. And yeah.
It's going to look like a nice big show.
Yeah. And it's pretty much what it is a nice big show, right? But the good news is, guys, so here's the thing. So we have a whole bunch of people invading the country from the south, as I'm being told, right? We've talked about the vaccines and disease X, and that's kind of all bad. We've talked about Russia, and we've talked about the things in space. The good news is our economy's rocking, right? Everybody agree with that?
Yeah, gas is down.
Yeah, okay. So here are the top headlines based on the economy. So if you look, Toast lays off 550 workers. Nike joins list of growing companies doing large layoffs. Murphy Health doing large layoffs. Layoffs hit Morgan Stanley. Layoffs come at IG Media. Cisco Systems to lay off 4,000 people. What to know about Charles Schwab's recent layoffs. What the loss of local news and media layoffs mean for communities. And don't leave out what's next for Verizon following the recent layoffs. Fort Worth ISD technology staff among many job cuts. How Meta's recent layoffs made an impact on profits. Instacart layoffs 2024. Blackbird Interactive faces second round of layoffs. Layoffs continue at UPS. Google laid off hundreds more workers. Discord's laying off employees. BlackRock is planning a 3% cut to their staff, and several hundred jobs are now lost at Amazon.
I thought the economy was booming.
It's booming. Oh, American roots, you rock. and Tucker Carlson's interview was awful convenient. Oh my goodness. Oh, what about the eclipse at X? That's right. I didn't even cover that wonderful, beautiful news, Miley, huh? Just so crazy to me. Just absolutely crazy to me. You know, I have never experienced another time, at least in my life, and I can tell you that from my parents' lives, this would be true. And maybe not my grandparents, but where there was so much. You know, the economics sucks, the border sucks, security sucks. There's the threat of World War III. There's every continent in the world today is at war except Antarctica and Australia.
And people can't afford food.
People, 60%, I read that today, 60% of people are struggling to pay for food. You know, they talk about inflation hovering around 7%. Really? You know, I don't know. I mean, I've just never, ever seen it be anything like it is. Well, I say figures don't lie, but liars sure can figure. Yeah. Yeah, no doubt, huh? Here's another interesting point. So this is now breaking that Obama's CIA agents worked with Hillary's foreign agents in London to take down Trump. So there's a bunch of stuff coming out. If you guys haven't seen it yet, there's a bunch of stuff being leaked right now from foreign actors and then also people inside saying that it was actually Obama and Hillary that was spying on Trump with the Russia collusion thing. And if you look at on the right, it says breaking report, FBI may have raided Mar-a-Lago in search of missing binder that purportedly proves CIA set up the Russia collusion narrative. So what they're saying now is that when the FBI raided Mar-a-Lago, it wasn't to find classified documents. It wasn't for all of that. It was to get the evidence that Trump had against Obama and Clinton. Highly credible sources claim Russia collusion narrative was initiated by the U.S. government and it came from within the intelligence community. What a mess. Would you look at me like that?
What do you even believe?
I don't know.
You can't believe any of it. It's all intertwined and
LJC says that it's almost like they're trying to distract us from the fact that our mummified meat puppet is too demented to stand trial. Guys, and when they run out of things to tell us, the aliens will be invading. Just saying. Where's that damn file? I know, right? I do not believe that Russia has nukes in space, right? Here's the thing, Starla, about that. I believe that North Korea has nukes in space. America has nukes in space. Probably everybody does, right? I know for 100% certainty that every 90 minutes a North Korean satellite flies right over the United States. I mean, so I believe they probably do, but I would also argue that they've had it there a long, long time. You know? Had to walk away. Have we talked about the killer satellites from outer space? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, just a little bit. Let me see here. Jane Marie, hello. Well, there goes Hillary off the ballot. Guess we're back to Big Mike. Yep. Let me see here. If they export all of these weapons to Ukraine, the GDP will look better. Of course, brought on debt. Biden will look good, though. I don't know if Biden can look good again, Mo. I mean, he really is. Every single time I watch him, there's more and more and more and more issues.
He's not even speaking English in a lot of his.
No, and I think it's interesting to watch the left start to turn on him, and you're starting to see places like CNN and MSNBC, ABC pick up on these articles. I mean, I pulled an article today about him and his mental capacity from CNN, who normally would totally protect him.
Yeah.
But they're not doing it anymore, which is kind of what tells me it's headed down. Why do you think they went to Mar-a-Lago? I think they went to, what the article was suggesting is they went to Mar-a-Lago because Trump had evidence of the Russian collusion between Obama and Hillary Clinton and them spying on his campaign, and they went there to raid him to get that evidence. One more rock says question everything.
Did they get it? Do you know? Did they?
I don't know, babe. Who knows?
Of course you don't know.
Who knows?
Of course you don't know.
Well, that makes sense. They raided Mar-a-Lago, but not Biden's garage. Yep. He couldn't remember he had a court date to show up and be tried. Yeah. Look at what the Trumps did to court today. Well, it ain't really going to matter because he'll appeal that, obviously, and they'll go to the next court and the next court and the next court. But yeah, that's the thing is justice doesn't matter anymore and proof doesn't matter anymore. right? I mean, that judge clearly has it out for Trump. And you guys know I'm not a Trump supporter, but dude, that dude has not gotten his fair shake at all. I mean, they've proven now Obama and Hillary both colluded to spy on his campaign, and they didn't find anything. Isn't that amazing that they did all that work and he got elected anyway? But man.
So they were spying on him to get him to not win?
No, they were trying to find dirt on him.
Okay.
Right? They were trying to find something on him that they could then, leak to the public.
To make him look bad.
Right. I mean, just like the leaked document when they, Biden had the classified documents in his garage. They did a big study, so they're not going to bring up charges, but he's losing his mind. I mean, they leaked that on purpose, right? They don't do that, Let me see here. TB says, protect your assets, freedom friends. Amen. Amen. The media is owned by the CIA. A lot of it is, and then the other half's by George Soros. Let me see here. I feel like they have to have something planned, not to be running a legislative Democrat candidate. It's just around the corner. Wilmore Rock, I think you're onto something right here, because you would think if they were going to do that, they would do it pretty quick because the election's right around the corner. So they would have to get on it pretty quick. And if they don't, then that would tell me they don't believe there'll be an election. Right? Which wouldn't that be? The world has gone out against Slow Joe. He'll go under the bus. Yes, he will. Mm-hmm. He said he would be medically removed when he first took office. Yeah, what a mess. Anyway, guys, I think it's been 2 hours, and I could keep ranting, but let's talk about some positive things to leave everybody with on this fine Friday night. And then you got feet to rub, right? I
do.
That's all you're going to say?
Yeah, my dogs are barking. I'm gonna rub my feet.
Yeah.
Or are you talking about your feet?
I'm talking about my feet.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't turn me away if I wanted to rub your feet.
No, heck no. Hakestraw said they wanted to criminalize Trump, hoping he won't vote for him, which it's totally backfired. The more they do to him, the more people will vote for him. Just saying. But anyway, so what's your parting words tonight? What are we going to talk about? Since we have all this positive energy going on tonight.
Yeah, well, with all the positive energy in the world, I was going to say, or in the room, I was going to say, with the doom and the gloom and the to-do lists and the lack of time and lack of energy and lack of money to do it, and all of the issues that we come in contact with, we have to remember to find the happiness in it, to find your smile. Don't lose it. We have to define what success is to each of us in order to sometimes find what makes us happy. Are you sending emails?
No, he asked what kind of hives you had.
Oh.
And I just answered him while you were talking.
Well, you had that up, so I thought that you were typing something. Like, you're not even listening to me. Why am I even talking? I don't even know what I was saying now.
You're trying to be happy.
Being happy, finding our why. Don't losing sight of it. Trying to enjoy ourselves along the way.
Well, I think it's important to remember that happiness is a choice, right? It's not someplace we find. And no matter what's going on around us, we get to choose what happens between our ears. We get to choose how we live and how we look at something. Wise person once said, whether you think you can or whether you think you can't, either way, you're right. And there's so much truth into all that. We get to define what happiness is to us. We get to define what success is to us. And I think part of our problem as a society is what success is being defined as is Kim Kardashian's ass and, the Lamborghini or the political things, when the truth is real success is having a great relationship with your wife or your husband, having the respect of your children, having the respect of your peers, loving yourself. Right. I mean, those are the real things.
Surrounding yourself with people
with great people, which, by the way, I want to share with you guys. something really, really funny tonight. For those of you who stuck around this long. So B has this notebook. I'm going to show you guys because it just cracked me up.
Oh my gosh,
You'll be
that was
all right.
all my gardening
So
stuff.
she has this notebook, and what she does is she makes these notes, right, for our life. But if you look all the way down at the bottom, right, can you see that?
It says people.
No, it doesn't. It says productive poop.
It does not.
So in her definition of success, one of the things was to have a productive poop.
It
Show
says
them.
productive people.
Look,
It says people.
productive. Get with it. Look at that.
People.
No, that says it says productive poop.
It does not. It says positive, busy people, productive people.
Yeah. I think she defines success by having a productive poop.
Well,
Just saying.
you know, if you don't empty the bucket, you can't fill the bucket. Okay. It was not.
My poor wife. She's like,
Yeah, you're like, what does that say? And I'm like, why don't you look at your own notes, buddy?
It was absolutely funny. Hey guys, just kind of parting note. Don't forget, as we mentioned earlier, that happiness is a decision, and you get to decide to be happy. If you become jealous, it's a decision you made. If you become envious, it's a decision you made. If you become prideful, it's a decision you made. If you're encouraging, it's because it's a decision you made, right? And so just decide. Make a decision. That's all you got to do. And quit listening to the influences around you, right? Because at the end of the day, you're responsible for your choices, and the life that you live in is the exact life you chose for yourself. So just go decide and be happy, and just,
And smile.
and smile, right? All right, we're going to get out of here. So what do you want to say?
Good night.
Good night. Hold the line.
Hold the line.
Don't give an inch.
Give an inch.
Be out.
Be out.
Check out. Good night, everybody.
Good night.